So this is basically the worksheet we started off with. So I think we did only question one and question two. Is that correct? Or we did only question one? Question one and question two. Okay, that's nice. So I have to continue with this. So let's start up with question three. So question three is basically this question, which kind of states that the equation shows the reaction of sodium, that's sodium, with water. So they say calculate the minimum mass of sodium that is required to produce 300 cubic centimeter of hydrogen. That means they are interested in sodium and hydrogen, and they want us to have mass of sodium, and they have given us volume of hydrogen. So what do we do about it? So first thing is we can use a formula to convert volume into moles. Do you guys remember this formula?
Yes, sir.
So first thing is the problem here is this is in cubic centimeter and the formula states the volume in cubic decimeter. So how do we go about it? So step one is to divide this value with 1000. So we get 300 divided by 1000. So the answer comes out to be in cubic decimeter, which is now 0.3 cubic decimeter. Now we have volume. We can divide it with 24. So the answer is 0.0125 moles of hydrogen. Now these are the moles of hydrogen, but the question asks us to find out the mass of sodium. So we can proceed with a simple ratio technique here. If you see equation, you see there is no number written here. That means this is 1 mole. And you see 2 written here. That means for every 1 mole of hydrogen, we have 2 moles of sodium, right? That's according to the equation. And the statement, however, is something else. The statement was talking about 300 cubic centimeter of hydrogen. And all the way here, we figured out the moles of hydrogen, and that's 0.0125. Okay. So that means if we have 0.0125 moles for hydrogen, so how many moles of sodium will be? So that's X. So we can now cross multiply it. So this becomes 1 times X, which is X, and 2 times 0.0125. So the answer comes out to be 0.025 moles of sodium. Now, they want us to have mass of sodium. So mass is number of moles multiplied by MR. So moles is 0.025. MR of sodium is given in the periodic table. That is, okay, Bushra, I got your message. 23. So 0.025 times 23 comes out to be 0.575 grams. So that is going to be your answer to this question. Now, it looks like a very difficult concept and it looks like too much maths. That's understandable. But if you recognize what you did all the way here is, so you used one of these formulas. That's 2 times you have used this formula in this question. And you have only used this formula 1 time. That's it. So basically, if you have figured out the formula, then you can find out, the question easy. Okay, so Hassan has a doubt. This is basically volume of hydrogen, right, Hassan? So we converted it into liters. So this is zero point 0.3 cubic decimeter. That's the volume in liters. Then we use this formula. We divided it 24. That's the moles of hydrogen because the original volume, this was only for hydrogen. This was not the volume for sodium. This was only for hydrogen. So we obtained moles of hydrogen. Okay. Then we use the analogy here. यहाँ पे 1 mole लिखा हुआ है. This is 1 mole. This is 2 moles. So from 1 mole of hydrogen, we are having 2 moles of sodium. So I use this ratio proportion technique shaded here. So I figured out moles of sodium. That's basically twice the number of moles of hydrogen. Then I multiplied this with Ar for sodium. That's 23. This value comes from pejorative. Okay, Hassan, do you get this? Is this understood by all of you?
Yes, sir.
Acha, okay. So if it is confusing, then we can, skip this part and we can try some simple questions so that you don't worry about it. You know. Then let's do some revision before we continue with that. No worries in that. So let's say there is a question that says calculate the moles in 24,000 cubic centimeter of sodium. Second question, it says calculate the mass of 100 moles of NaCl, where Na is 23 and Cl is 35.5. So I'll wait for a few minutes, and what you all have to do is to figure out a solution to this question. For now, since it is just practice, I'm giving you the formulas which you can use to solve these questions. But in your exam, you won't be provided with the formulas. Okay,
Okay, sir.
let's see how it goes. Yes, Bushra, this means molecular mass. So do we have answers? You guys thinking? You guys working? Hassan, can you write your answers in the chat box so that I get to know whether you have done it correctly or incorrectly? That is for question one. And what about question two? Okay. So the question one talks about you have to find out moles. That means this formula is up. This is volume, that's 24,000. And there is one more thing that's needed, clarity here. That's 1 cubic decimeter is 1,000 cubic centimeters. So if we intend to use this formula, so this volume has to be converted into cubic decimeter. So we can divide this value with 1,000. So what do we get? We get 24 liters, right? So now number of moles is volume upon 24. Volume is 24 divided by 24, you get 1 mole. But is this understood to all of you?
Yes.
Good. Nice. Let's try this question. It says we have to figure out mass of 100 moles of NaCl. Okay. So this formula is to be used. Mass is M. So number of moles multiplied by MR. That's the formula. We have 100 moles. Now for MR, what we can do is we can find out 23, that's sodium, and then we can add 35.5, we get 58.5. So that's 100 times 58.5. So what do we get? So that's 5850 grams. Is this understood?
Yes, sir.
Good. Can I change my slide?
Yes, sir.
Let's have a few more questions. Let's see how it goes. So calculate the mass of 20 moles of KNO3. Potassium is 39, nitrogen is 14, oxygen is 16. Says in the next question, calculate the moles in 240 grams of HCl. That's hydrochloric acid. Hydrogen is 1, chlorine is 35.5. Okay. Anmol, just write the answers in the chat boxes. And what's that, Anmol? Hassan, they doesn't matter as far as your IGCSE is concerned. They are only going to work in, A levels. Also, if you get confused, you can use 3SF always. Yeah, round it off to 3SF. So let's solve this. We have potassium, that's 39. Bushra, have you done this? Nitrogen 14 and oxygen is 16. But the challenge here is oxygen is not 1, it's 3. So we have 3 times 16. So that's 39 plus 14 plus 48. So this is 101. Now the formula says mass over mr. Number of moles is 20. Mass is what we are still working upon. MR comes out to be 101. So the answer comes out to be 2020 grams. That's mass. So I think, yeah, you add these up, you're going to get 101. See, potassium is K. So K is only one atom. So we use 39, right? Nitrogen is N. So that's 14. But O is not O, it's 3O, right? Each O is 16. So for that to happen, what you can do is you can, time this 16 with 3. So that's 48. So once you get 48 plus 14 plus 39, you'll get 101. Is this understood to everyone?
Yes.
Let's try this question. That's the answer. Beta, is this understood to all of you? Bushra, do you get it? Hassan, yeah, your answer is correct. Anmol, do you get this part?
Yes, sir.
Let's try this question. Let's try this. Hassan, I didn't get your question. Yeah, Bushra, that is correct. Hassan, you don't require this data for this question set. If that is being required, I would have given you, by default. So we have calculate the moles here. So basically the formula is volume upon 24. And the good news is it is given in liters. So that's 1 mole. We don't require anything related to NaCl. Then this is volume find out करना है यहाँ पे. So basically if we have to find out volume, so that's number of moles times 24 using the same formula. So that's 20 times 24. So the answer is 480 liters. So is this understood by all of you guys? 480 cubic decimeter, not cubic centimeter, Hassan. Anmol, do you get this?
Can you repeat again, sir?
Which part you want me to repeat?
Question two, how did you get the answer?
So the question two asks us to find out the volume and volume in 20 moles of CaCO3. So what I did, I used this formula. Number of moles is volume upon 24. So number of moles, I have 20, and that's 24 of fixed values. So I've multiplied them, and I get my answer.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Let's try. No, Hassan, because in past papers, basically the problem what I identified here is, all of you were not recalling the formulas. Had you been working on the formulas, then the past paper question would be easier. So there is no worries in that. Once you guys are ready for the past paper questions, then only will solve those questions. If I feel it that there is a need for practicing more questions. We won't be moving towards past paper questions at all. I'll bring you to that level so that you can easily understand every single word of the past paper question. Don't worry about it. So we have this answer, right? Is this understood by everyone?
Yes, sir.
So I think we can keep it up till here, okay? And we'll resume with these questions in the next class, okay? Till then, I'll share these slides with you. So do practice these questions up, okay? So that we can do past paper questions in the next class, okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Take care. Allah Hafiz.